you guys. How are you all? Thank you guys for being here. So, as you know, we have a live stream at 6 o'clock tonight on Letitia and Harley's Poshmark. But I really wanted to talk about this just really quickly with you guys, if I could. And this was like the perfect opportunity, or the only opportunity. But let me say hello. Thank you guys for being here. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Clicker. Hey, Adrian. Crumb Curious. Hey, Scout. B Crumbs. Nadie. Oh, thank you, Katrina. Hey, Harlot. Hey, Kathy. Adrian. Oh, I already said hi to you, Adrian. I start doubling up. Phone spam risk. Sorry, you guys. B Crumbs. Tony. Kate. Thank you guys for being here. Hey, Petunia, Gemini, Stacy Lee, Preschool Granny. Hey, Christina, Queen Bella. Good to see you. Hey, Sadie. So yeah, Lori Vallow has been moved in the middle of the night. She had a court appearance, and I just want to take a few minutes to show you guys a little bit from that and talk about it for a second, and then I'll let you guys go and see you again at 6 to talk about Poshmark with Jen, Melissa, and I think Curious Jen too. Maybe. Hey, Lemons. MK, good to see you. Okay, let me go ahead and bring up what I've got. So first, I'll just show you this article because it has the new mugshot in it. Many of you guys have probably watched her court appearance or her press conference or whatever, but I've been covering this on my channel for 3 years, pretty much, and so I wanted to make sure to take a second to talk about this. So this is Arizona News. Justin Lum. He's been reporting on Lori's case since the beginning. He did some major interviews with family members and stuff like that. So this is an article written by him, and it says the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office said he traveled to Idaho on November 27th to take custody of Vallow. They arrived back in Maricopa County with Vallow on Thursday and booked her into Estrella Jail. The latest development comes after Maricopa County Attorney's Office said they intended to extradite Vallow. Hold on here. Okay. They intended to extradite Vallow back to Arizona in connection with the death of Charles Vallow, as well as an alleged conspiracy involving the attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux, who was the husband of Vallow's niece. Now, the interesting thing about this was a grand jury indictment that was actually done maybe like 2 years ago. It just was kept sealed under seal until she was found guilty in Idaho, and then we found out about it. There is a press conference we're going to watch, a video of her being booked. Police say Vallow conspired with her late brother, Alex Cox, who shot and killed Charles in 2019. Police allege that Cox also shot at Boudreaux but missed. Vallow was found guilty in May of 2023 of 6 charges, including the murder of the kids and Tammy. Let's see. Breaking. Lori Vallow is now booked in MCSO jail to face murder charges. Extradition is done. Here's the new mugshot. Count of charges, 2 counts of homicide. Both are murder conspiracy charges. Vallow will be housed at the Estrella Jail. For background, Vallow has not set foot in Arizona since 2019. That's when she left Idaho to be closer to her now husband, Chad Daybell, her co-defendant. She was sentenced to life in prison back in July, but waiting for the eventual extradition to Arizona. Can you imagine how the family feels today? How Brandon must feel today? And also, I don't know how Melanie hasn't gotten in trouble, but that's going to be really interesting to watch that shake out. Here we have the official inmate booking info. Vallow is currently housed at Estrella Jail, which is only for female inmates. Super duper competent. Actually, you know what? After you said that, and then she is asking some interesting questions. So because I hadn't seen it when I saw you say that. I hope Melanie P is being charged. I haven't heard anything. Sadie, I don't know. Fruit fly, maybe. It sounds like it. Bikram says, yeah. Hey, Cray Cray. Okay. Hey, Tiff. Hey, Bluebella. Hope you're having a wonderful day too. Okay, so let's go over to, actually, before we go and watch she had a very quick court process. We're going to watch that. It was like 2 or 3 minutes. But first, I want to watch this with you guys. Hold on. Really interesting. There is no sound. Apparently, she was quite chatty. That was said at the press conference. So her hair has been definitely curled with a curling wand, not braided like we've seen at other times. But, you know, in prison, they have a lot more stuff than they have in jails. There she is getting a body scan. Wow. And you know what? She thought she would be in charge of all the people and, you know, all the things. Hey, Tess. Tess actually is the first person who had messaged me about it. Oh, look at her in her orange. Interesting, you guys. Oh, thank you, Rebellious Rose. Wonder if Chad's going to turn on her. Oh, 100. In my opinion, I really do believe he is. Hey, Angel. Love you too. Angel something. And yeah, I hope that you guys know there is a live at 6 too, because YouTube does this funky thing where if they send out notifications once, they might not do it again on that same channel that same day. So say you have 2 live streams, like now you'll get a notification for this one, but when we go on at 6 to review Harley and Tisha's Poshmark, you may not get notified about that. I'm free to use. Oh, thank you, Dustin. Very cool. Like she's headed to film another episode of Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. It's bizarre. Okay, so here is her court appearance. Okay, now it's only 3 minutes long, but I think it's important.
So Ms. Vallow,
because she does ask a few questions.
2673.
All right. So Ms. Vallow, you are appearing here on 2 cases. These are both grand jury warrants. What that means is that the grand jury here in Arizona has indicted you.
Yes, we do.
Charges.
I'm so excited,
The first
Queen
case
Bella.
is CR 2022-001242-001. You're being charged in that case with 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. It is a Class 1 felony committed on October the 2nd of 2019. The second case is CR 2021-001704-001. In that case, you're also being charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. It is also a Class 1 felony. That offense allegedly occurred on July 11th, 2019. Now, I do have to advise you of your right to have an attorney and the right to remain silent. I will appoint counsel for you in both cases. I have a court date coming up for you called the not guilty arraignment hearing. Give me just a second. That hearing is going to take place in the downtown Phoenix Superior Court in our Central Court building. And the date is going to be next Thursday, December 7th at 8:30 in the morning. In both cases, you've been extradited from the state of Arizona. You are currently under the jurisdiction of the Idaho Department of Corrections.
Okay, let me just pause for just a second. Craig, no. So Lori's already been tried in Idaho. We covered that during Letitia's trial. It's just there was no footage of her trial, so it was a little difficult. They put out audio after that day was over. But she was found guilty. So after she was found guilty, Arizona announced, hey, we have a warrant for her. We've had one for like a while now. We just hadn't said anything. But now that we know we can come get her, we're going to. So just know when we're ready, we'll be there. And now they have came and gotten her. I believe, as far as I know, she is the only one charged in Arizona. I don't know how anybody else isn't charged yet. We'll be following that as things develop, but Chad is about to face the charges back in Idaho that she was just found guilty for. And they just ruled like 2 days ago that they were going to have cameras in the courtroom for that. So, hey, Christine G, that's me. He's definitely the kind of attorney you call great white shark. Who you guys talking about? Daybell's Pryor, talking about John Pryor. Melanie P is too, I think. She's charged there? No way. Oh, I hope and pray. Hold on, you guys. Okay, let's finish watching this and then we'll chat some more.
Corrections, that makes you non-bailable at this hearing. So you're not eligible for bail in either case. You do have your court date. You know a lawyer's going to be appointed for you. Do you have any questions?
Are those cases going to be combined, or are they going to be done separately?
Well, they are two separate cases, but they're going to be handled at the same hearing.
Okay.
Okay. So you can talk to your lawyer, but they are two separate cases, which means that you'd have two separate proceedings going forward if it goes to trial.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, Ms. Hall?
Just one attorney, or more attorneys will be assigned?
Well, at this point in time, you're likely going to have the one lawyer represent you at this particular hearing. What the Maricopa County Public Defender does at this point in time with respect to who they assign for counsel for you, or how many lawyers you have, or anything like that, that will be between you and your lawyer.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
So you're saying that will I get to talk to them before that arraignment hearing, or will just at that arraignment hearing they'll be assigned?
Well, typically you do meet your lawyer at that arraignment hearing. Under the circumstances of this case, they may reach out to you before that hearing to have discussions with you. There's also a telephone number that you're going to have on your paperwork that will be able to connect you with the Maricopa County Public Defender's Office.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Vallow. Appreciate it. All right.
Wow. Now, remember, and Bendy made this point to me earlier. When she was found incompetent in Idaho for that time being, one of the major points was because she couldn't assist in her own defense. Well, she certainly seems to be involved in it here. Yeah, she does. Leslie, I agree there. So now after this, there was a press conference, and I thought this was so interesting because he talks about, their journey, her transport and stuff like that. He wasn't one of the officers, but he was told a few things, and we will watch that. Let me see. Topher. I don't know. Hey, Destin. Okay.
Story of interest, not just here in Arizona, but I know across the nation. Just after midnight last night, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office deputies booked Lori Vallow into our ITR facility. One count of first-degree murder, one count of premeditated first-degree murder. She was extradited from Pocatello, Idaho, where she was already in their Department of Corrections there in custody at one of the prisons. We sent 4 deputies there by car. Normally we would fly, our extradition team would fly to pick it up, but because of weather conditions, we felt that it was more predictable and more within our control that if we were going to transport her, that we wouldn't have to deal with any kind of weather conditions or air.
also, it is a long drive, and he's going to tell us how long. But I just want to say, Vicky says, what a difference she is from Letitia as far as respect and nonsense. Both are still equally bad, though, right? They are, and they're equally evil. And the thing is, though, I do believe that Lori Vallow was not faking mental health issues to get out of this. It was so different because we have one person who's, keeps asking to be evaluated and found competent, but, acting like she's not. And then we have this other person who's not found competent and then goes to the mental health goes to the hospital, gets on medication, whatever, gets stable, is found competent, and continues along the way. I just think that they're very different. They're very similar in ways. But hey, Music City Mom. Hey, Iffy Angel. Lori still thinks her baby voice and charm can get her out of anything. Yeah, and she's quite social with even the guards and stuff. So here.
Air travel challenges. So our deputies left on the 27th, Friday. Arrived there, stayed for a day to prepare, and brought her back. We sent 2 extradition deputies, a supervisor, and 1 deputy from our K-9 division, but it's just because she's a female deputy. We want to make sure there's a female accompanying suspect Vallow in her travel back.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online.
I'm sorry. I should be. I tried. I'm not signed into my main YouTube channel has premium. Right now I'm in Real Talk with Alex. And when I tried to log back into my main one, it was giving me all these different things it wanted me to do. And it was the middle of the night and I didn't have the phone that they wanted me to check and all this stuff. So sorry.
Spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this.
It was about an 18-hour trip. In my statement, as you saw, I talked about the fact that we do about 250 plus extraditions every year. So this is not new for them. The uniqueness or maybe the circumstances involved in this particular case are very high profile and much to the interest of our local and national audience. I don't want to diminish it. It is what we do, as I stated, and we do it very well. Whether it is her or any other fugitive who's wanted in the state of Arizona, we're going to facilitate transfer into our custody so the prosecutor's office can prosecute them effectively. She had her initial appearance at about 2 a.m. and she was remanded without bond. So the case will now be in the hands.
So what we just watched was at 2 a.m. And then a week from today, the 7th, next Thursday, will be the where she, I guess, gives in her plea and stuff. I don't know. That's her next court date.
While in our custody, at the conclusion of whatever happens with the court case, she will then be returned to Pocatello, to their Department of Corrections. So I want to thank them for their cooperation and facilitation of this also. And I also want to just recognize and express gratitude to our team here, the deputies that spent 4 days on the road to bring her back safely. We do have a really, really good video for you, which I can't show you right now, but we'll get it to you of bringing her into the jail where you get a good look at the process, the initial process of her custody. So I don't, there's not a whole lot more depth to it than that. I just want to make sure you heard from me the status of it, and I'm happy to answer a few questions if they're related to this case. I'll start with that.
So will she be kept in any sort of segregated situation, or
Yeah, no, that is a good question. She will be. She's deemed to be high security, so she'll be isolated in a high security area.
So she will be alone in high security area. Lori sounded like she was at the DMV charming her way for her license. I agree. Hey, Sandy Hale. I always get skipped on the shout outs, but it's okay. Gotta go, baby. Love you. Bye. You weren't here when I said hello to everybody. Then I just say hello as people come in. And I say hello to everyone that's here. When I say hellos, I just go down the list of each person who's here. But I am glad that you're here. If he says the charging documents are out also, very interesting indeed. Okay. Well, I know there's going to be a lot of coverage of it. Like Jen and I know that Bendy will be covering this probably this stuff as well as the Chad stuff that just happened. I don't know when. And a lot of people are going to cover this trial and Chad's trial.
Period, straight to jail.
Tell us what goes into a process such as this. You've dealt with high-profile inmates in the past. That's not new, but obviously this planning has been going.
That's okay, Sandy.
It has, and we wanted to make sure that it was, during my tenure as sheriff, I feel like our focus has always been about being really fundamentally sound and less about the bells and whistles. And the men and women who put the planning and preparation and took everything into consideration. As I said, we had challenging weather conditions. The last thing we wanted to do was try to fly, get stuck in an airport, where suddenly now we're in a space where there's a lot of community members and others, and it takes an extensive period of time. If we're going to travel that road, we need to make sure that we have the appropriate vehicles. As I said, we sent a female deputy to make sure that we had a female deputy accompanying a female inmate. We sent those from our FATE detail, and extraditions facilitated this because we're the best at managing any kind of transfer of custody or apprehension of those deemed to be dangerous. And make no mistake about it, sometimes I think we look at a person and judge them by appearance, and we go, well, this is a relatively moderate-sized female. What kind of a threat can she be? She is as much, if not more, of a threat to the harm of others as any other dangerous criminal we've had in our custody.
Yeah, think. Hey, Doopsie Daisy. Hey, okay, Kate. So in Idaho, she was found guilty of taking the lives of her two kids, JJ and Tylee. JJ was 7, Tylee was 16, turning 17 around the time that it happened. It's been a minute, so I'm a little fuzzy on every detail. JJ and Tylee and Tammy Daybell, which is Chad Daybell's wife at the time. She was found guilty of those charges, and her husband is also charged with the same charges with those 3. And then in Arizona, she's charged with the murder of her ex-husband before Chad, Charles, and the attempted murder of her cousin's ex-husband, Brandon. Let me see if I still have my little chart, because I made this little chart like 2 years ago to try to make sense of this. Like, yes, I do actually, on paper. Okay. So we have Lori in the middle. The circles are like how they're connected, and the people are all in boxes. Her co-conspirators are Alex Cox and Chad Daybell, and they have the CC. I have the little log at the bottom. So anyone who's deceased has the red D in their box. And then members of this, they were part of this like religious cult, if you will, end times group. And all of the members of that have the blue M. So we have over here, if you look at Lori and you go over to the left to Alex, you have Lori's brother and sister. Okay, you have Lori's brother is Alex, and she had a sister. So they both, Alex and Lori, both share a niece, Melanie Pulowski, right here on the left side of the screen. I wonder if I can make it right here. Melanie married Brandon Boudreaux. That is who the attempted conspiracy for attempted murder is for. But they got divorced, and now she remarried Ian, who was part of this end times group. And Ian used to be married to someone named Natalie, who was part of some of the information coming forth about Lori and Chad and stuff. Yeah, they were in different states. Yeah. She would have turned, okay, thank you, Iffy Angel. Tylee was 16. She would have turned 17. That's what I was thinking, on September 24th, but was last seen on September 8th. Exactly. Melanie is her niece, but it's her, okay, so it's her brother and sister's kid, but I didn't put the sister on here because she's not relevant, so that's just why it's like she's the sister to both Alex and Lori, and then it's her niece. Yes, Melanie is her niece. Okay. So it's confusing, and there's like a whole, it's just confusing. There's a lot of people and a lot of murders and just a lot of shady stuff. Okay.
So we figure out the entire route and map the challenges of where we're going to stay, how we make sure that our employees get the rest necessary to come back safely. I think it was an 18-hour drive back. Is that correct? About 18 hours? Yeah. So we'll call it planning an extensive road trip that just happens to include bringing back a dangerous fugitive.
Can you clarify this part, though? You said at some point she'd be brought back to Idaho to focus on but this court case here, we don't know how long that's going to take. She has an arraignment coming up.
Yeah, there's two Melanies. Another
Most
ad.
people have
I'm
no
sorry,
clue
you
that in
guys. Well,
2023, the best way to make money on Amazon is not with physical products.
let me show you one more thing on here. So there are two Melanies. We have Melanie the niece, which is the one that's like right here. But then we have Melanie. Where's she at on the list? I know she is. Zulema. Melanie Gibb. Did I not put her on? Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. So if you see Lori's box right under that, you have friends. Melanie Gibb is one of her friends, and she was a witness at the trial. And then her boyfriend, who's now her husband, David Warwick. And then Jason Mao, another friend. They're all part of this End Times group. Julie Rowe.
She'll be housed here until the conclusion of her case, and then once there is a
Steph
conclusion,
sells
the
stuff
county
by the
attorney
seashore.
and their attorney there will have to determine. I would imagine that she'd have to return to spend her time there, and then whatever time either is going to be
Dipsy
consecutive,
Daisy.
concurrent, whatever the outcome is. But I'm just being respectful of the fact that she is in their custody, and now she's been transferred to us for the specific case.
I know initially.
Let me just check the rest of the room before I come back to you. Anybody got questions left? Hey, Rick, how are you, buddy? Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah,
I understand.
I guess I have two. What was her demeanor like while during this process?
I understand that she was very sociable the entire trip. Talked quite a bit. Oh, that's between the deputies, the courts, and the prosecutor.
So the person says it's hard to hear. What was her demeanor like during the trip? And he said she was very sociable. She talked quite a lot. And they asked, what did they talk about? And he says, well, that's between the deputies, the courts, and the prosecutor. But interesting.
Apparently, I don't know that she gave any specific statements related to the investigation, but I just know that they said she was very chatty.
And I'll just add to that. I know initially maybe there weren't plans to extradite her until after the appeal process in Idaho was concluded. Why did that change?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's something probably that I'm sure maybe Rachel Mitchell can answer to the county attorney. She would know more about the specifics on any court-related elements.
So with that said, who ultimately makes the call? Is it between MCAO and then United Gibbon and then you guys take the trip that was planned, Idaho involved in it, who ultimately makes that call?
Trying to move these back up here. Okay.
No, not so much. We just kept it under wraps because we didn't want to, I don't like to talk about things until we execute on them and carry out our duties. So the legal sides of the extradition relative to their willingness to allow us to take custody of her here and hold her for trial here, that takes place at the prosecutorial level. Once there's a green light that she is going to be available for us to extradite here to Arizona, then we take it from there and do all the planning and handle all the operations.
You said it was an 18-hour drive back. Was it nonstop? Did you guys have to stop anywhere to rest? Or kind of what is that like when you have to drive someone like this across the country?
I just know on that it's usually my family saying, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" But I just, I stop for gas, stop for food, for rest stops, and make sure that we're being accommodating to the needs of the inmate. But get here as quickly as you can.
It's very interesting that we have this trip with both her and Letitia, though, something we've talked so much about recently. So, Kate, they do know who killed them, and some of them. So in Arizona, the charges she's facing now, we know that Charles, her ex-husband, was killed by her brother. He was shot, and they claimed it was this self-defense thing, but that's why she's facing conspiracy for murder. They don't believe that was the case, and they believe that she was part of the planning of that. Brandon did not pass away, so it's attempted. And then in Idaho, we just don't know exactly factually who was the one who took their lives. We just know that it was a group of people involved, and many people think that her brother was the muscle at most times, but we just don't know. Alex, so after they went and exhumed Chad's wife, because she passed away and there was no Chad had no autopsy and all this stuff. Well, after they exhumed her, like the next day, I believe, Alex passed away of a pulmonary issue. He did have pink foam. Now, they have came back and said that it was of natural causes, but it's really interesting because Tammy also had this pink foam, and is there something that's not detectable that killed him? We don't know.
Without it being a danger to, as I said, we had 4 deputies, so I'm going to presume that they took turns driving, or if not, that they took time to rest. They got back safely.
And there was no issue.
No.
These ads. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe how many there is. It's like every 2 minutes.
In this case, we used 2 4-wheel drive vehicles because we were going to be dealing with potential weather conditions.
So they're just asking about the trip and stuff like that. Hey, Carla. This is just a quick one. Oh, thank you, Adrian. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I think you guys use the term perp walk. It's just her coming into the back parking lot of the ITR, being brought into the facility, a short, exposure to the search process, transfer her into the jail clothing, and then at that point she just goes into a cell waiting on her initial appearance. So it just gives you exposure to our team bringing her into the jail and getting a good look at this fugitive who's now in the custody of Maricopa County Sheriff's Office.
Any idea how much it cost?
No, but I can get you that number. That's a good question. It's not cheap, but it's obviously money well spent.
Obviously, there were families that were impacted here.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to the families?
What would you like to say to the families that were impacted because of this? Knowing you're one step closer to closure.
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I mean, when I spent a lot of time working with victims, as you guys know, when I was my former agency. All that matters is, I pray for them, that their hearts will find a way to heal as best you can with significant loss like this. When it comes to the justice side of the ledger, the scales, I don't know that, successful prosecution, what the punishment is. I don't think there's anything that occurs in that space that really fills that void. And I don't know that, I'm sure some family members feel passionate about it. Others just kind of want to have their own path to overcoming this. So for me, just from one human to another, my heart breaks for them. Anybody who suffered loss at the hands of an evil person like this, and I pray that they'll find peace. We do. We have a plane that we use for extraditions. It's really just distance, circumstances, because it's
I can't imagine how relieved, happy that Charles's family must be. And finally, it looks like there's going to be some justice. Hey, T. Adams, or at least we're on the road to that. Hey, Ava, T. Adams, good to see you ladies. Let's see. Hey, Deborah. Yes. Well, I wanted to take the opportunity to document this for the channel. I've been covering it for a long time, but I just really wanted to do like a quick surface level live on it. Maybe later we'll go into detail on some more things with this. Also, I do expect that Jen Bendy, the Word Case Studies, will be covering this, probably the new stuff with Chad. So I'll be there. I think Melissa will probably cover it. I think there's going to be a lot of channels, and I'll be sharing as they do, like many that you guys know, our friends that come in here. Is there a death sentence in the new case? Kate. Lori they took the death penalty off the table with her in Idaho, and I believe some of that had to do with her mental health. At least that's what her attorneys used, like, to get it. Oh, and she didn't waive her right to a speedy trial. That was part of it too. That they were both mentioned, but I don't remember exactly. But yes, so it was on the table, was taken off for Lori, and then it's still on the table for Chad. Clicker, Kay and Larry can't wait for this trial and be able to confront her. Oh, also another person that I think you guys should keep your eyes out for really great coverage of this is Crescia. Crescia is Kay's daughter. So Kay is actually on my thing here. But Kay and Larry are the grandmother and grandfather of JJ Vallow. Kay is actually, they are his biological grandparents, and Kay is actually Charles's sister. And her daughter, Crescia, has a YouTube channel. Pointer Level, where you do, she was live earlier today. That's awesome. Will you drop her link for me, pretty please, in here? Because I know you know it. Jesse, I don't know. Not that I haven't seen anything yet. Hey, Meep. Arizona doesn't have the death penalty. Okay. So Chad's facing the death penalty, though, but they're asking for it to be taken off the table. Hey, Sherry, welcome. Thank you for joining. Steph says, death penalty was removed as a sanction against prosecution, nothing to do with their mental health. Okay, well, that's true because it took so long to prosecute. But if they weren't going to remove it, I very distinctly remember her lawyers like saying they were going to use her mental health in that fight. Like, I think if they didn't remove it and they were to have that dual phase trial or something like that, like it was definitely interwoven with that to a degree. And then, yeah, I don't really think it's anybody's fault that she wasn't taken to trial sooner in Idaho, though, because she had so many competency issues and things like that. Okay.
No, it's not a commercial plane like you'd see. The majority of our extraditions occur through commercial transport. But again, now you're dealing with circumstances where you're going to be in an environment with a lot of other people
Lisa.
who are just community members and unaware of the circumstances, so it enhances the danger slightly. If you go into a location and suddenly there's a storm and your flight is delayed, then you're sitting in an airport for hours, if not days, delayed because of that. And we wanted to mitigate any of those potential unexpected obstacles, unexpected challenges to make sure that we could get her back as quickly as possible.
Obviously, she's been accused of murder and this overall, she followed the case at all leading up to this.
I don't. No. I mean, I'm familiar as much as you guys have reported. My team has briefed me, and it's not because I'm not interested, but I have a lot of other things that are pressing, timely, and specific to this organization that I focus on. So I know the devastation that's been left in the trail. I know the importance of making sure that this office handles our business professionally and efficiently. And, just to give you some context, as I said, 250 plus these transfers a year that our extraditions team does. And our FATE team who participate in, they're approaching 1,000 arrests of fugitives that are extremely dangerous, and many of which, if I threw out some names, you wouldn't even know who they were, but they're getting them off the streets, made the community a safer place. All right, let's. Yeah, is she Estrella? Is that where we got her? Yeah, that's our jail for female inmates, so she'll be housed there.
Oh, God,
we will get you the
okay.
video immediately as soon as you leave here.
Clarify the charges too. I think the court have two different counts of conspiracy.
Yeah, on the booking sheet, what I have is murder in the first degree and then murder first degree premeditated. The conspiracy element is more of like a, I'm trying to get the correct term, but just, it has to do with the process on how it was played out with others and everything. But at the end of the day, she's in for 2 counts of first degree murder, 1 premeditated. Hiding over there on me. Sure. I wouldn't say that it's uncommon. It's not something that happens frequently, but it's remove the name, remove the circumstances, with the exception of it is a person wanted for a violent crime. Anytime we have that kind of heightened threat because of the danger of the other members of the community, then we're going to look at all these other factors that could impede or delay our travel. And if we feel like those things outweigh the benefit of getting in a car and driving, and though it's inconvenient, then we're going to get in a car and drive and do whatever's necessary to keep people safe. So it wasn't just so much her, it was all the circumstances.
All right. So that's it. Let me stop the screen share. Whew, it's getting warm down here because the heat is blaring. The channel name is Difficult Research. Thank you, Pointer Lover. Thank you so much for dropping that. Hey, Riddler. Good to see you. Kathy. Hey, Abellis. So anyways, just wanted to come on and document some of this. What do you guys think? I look forward to this. I really want to see a few other people be held accountable as well for all the lives that have been lost in this situation. And it's pretty crazy that just a few years ago, you know, they had this specific date that the world was going to be ending. And now here we are years later, and they are still in the process of facing the music for what they've done. So like I said, definitely want to check out Bindi for coverage of this. Kresha at Difficult Research. Somebody else. I know there's a lot. Annie, actually, Lori's husband before Charles, Joe Ryan, his sister, has done some pretty major explosive lives on the situation recently that I would check out as well. So anyways, all right, you guys, I am looking forward to our live in a little bit. Thank you, Nay. Their world is ending. Ain't that the truth, Carol? Yeah, she is great. I agree. And I think it's really cool, like, you know, to hear straight from the families when they have, you said that too, her world ended. Yeah, I like that we have actual family members with their own channels in these YouTube communities because, yeah, I just think it's really nice to be able to hear straight from them, get the facts, get the information. And I know that the family, you know, they're going to be just as invested in this one as the last one. Both trials, the last one, we know JJ and Tylee, and this one, they have to get justice for Charles. I can't imagine how it must feel after this long road. Steph said, no, her charges, I don't think are, actually, I'm not sure on that. They're conspiracy. They're not second-degree murder. They might be, actually, death penalty charges. Steph says, Judge Boyce ruled it was a discovery sanction for not turning it over in time. Arizona does have the death penalty. I'm actually not sure on that. Let me look, because I was just reading a comment when I said that. I was not stating it as myself. But let's see. Is conspiracy to commit murder? It might be a death, I'm not sure, penalty charge in Arizona. Can be issued life in prison with no option for early release until they have served at least 25 years. Okay. Murder 2 in Arizona. Punishable by a life sentence of imprisonment without possibility of release on any basis until the service of 25 years. So it doesn't look like it is. But before I say that for certain, let me just finish reading. Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like it is. So Judge Boyce ruled it was a discovery sanction. Right. But you do remember them like arguing it, right? Because I know like that's when her attorney made the points about, the second phase and not mentioning anything about the mental health until then. And he was kind of giving his argument, which included some of that. Amanda, good to see you too. Tess, if you do see anything about anyone else being charged, definitely send it to me because I am waiting for that. If, in my opinion, they prove his guilt in Tammy's death, I believe they have fingerprints. We'll see. It was interesting during Lori's trial, though, to get to hear that 911 call and stuff. I mean, even the people that came thought that he gave a real reaction of grief. The people who deal with that stuff on a daily basis, which was pretty shocking. Yes, you guys are so appreciated. Hope Melanie gets some charges on Brandon. I do too. Yeah, Chad is the one that is still facing death. Now, at this last hearing, I know that his attorney asked that it be taken off the table. But I don't think there's been a decision made on that, but I could be wrong. No, it's conspiracy to commit. I don't, even the first degree isn't death penalty, doesn't qualify for a death penalty by what I'm reading. Let me see. But then, actually, I feel like I've looked this up before, and it depends on what the conspiracy is for. If it's for, then it would have like the same. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. I'm just a mom and, who likes true crime, just a normal person. But let's see. Potential punishments. Hold on. Here's a law firm out of Arizona that's kind of commented on this charge. Let's see what we can read from this. Hey, on the podcast tonight with Curious Jen and Chris Welch. Well, he's not an Arizona attorney, but if there's any questions about law, we could try to ask him in the chat. Defining conspiracy to commit murder in Arizona. If the offense is facilitated as a class 1 felony, it is a class 5 felony. So under Arizona law, it says a person convicted of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder may be sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole only after serving the 25 years. If the offense is facilitated as a class 1 felony, it is a class 5. Under Arizona law, there are also specialty sentencing provisions that are applied to a conspiracy to commit murder case if the crime took place in a group. So this is, like I said, an attorney out of Arizona's website. No, that's okay, Kathy. I do remember, I remember looking at all of this whenever we found out that, and talking about like the possibility of her facing the death penalty somewhere else, whenever we found out it was unsealed that she had these charges. Pryor will throw her under the bus. Will throw under the bus all the known and unknown co-conspirators, which is great. The state trying to refuse cameras doesn't sit well with me. I don't like it either. I really don't. But too bad. We're going to get to see it. So I think that's pretty great. I know, Leslie. I've seen that too. But I don't think that's correct. I think they're both conspiracy charges, but I have seen people writing it out as it's a first-degree murder charge. But let's look here. See right here, counts of charges, 1 counts of homicide, 1 counts of homicides. We see here, he writes, here are the charges listed on the website, 2 homicide charges. Both are murder conspiracy charges. I know there's filing pages out there. I haven't been able to look for them yet. 2 counts of murder, first degree, premeditated, charge information. So I don't know. I think we either have to ask an attorney or wait until she has court because it's quite confusing. Justin Lum is putting out like the charge documents, which say like, look here, 2 counts of murder, first degree, premeditated. But then he says they're conspiracy charges. So I'm not really sure, you guys. Ooh, look at all of our mugshots. We're going to have to watch some attorneys and some legal professionals talk about this and figure out what we can find out. So I read that on ABC News from today. I know, B crumbs. I'm beyond that at this point, but you're right. So glad to be here to relax. I'm glad you are too, Abellis. When is the trial starting for Chad? I think it's in April, but honestly, it's been a minute since I've looked, so I'm a little fuzzy. Am I right or wrong? Kathy says May of 2024. B crumbs. Hey, Low Red. All right, you guys, I better go because we have to be back here in a little while. So I will see you guys in a little bit. I can't wait for tonight either, Nana. Good to see you, by the way. I have a lot of questions now, though, about this because why is it listed as first degree murder charges like there, but then it's being said that, and I remember when they came out as conspiracy charges. Even here, both are murder conspiracy charges. Hold on. Let's see something really quick. Lori Vallow, Daybell, unsealed indictment. After this, I will seriously let you go. Okay. On conspiracy to commit murder. Okay, look here. This one says conspiracy. Maricopa grand jury. This came out. Okay, Maricopa grand jury indicted Vallow in 2021 on a charge of conspiring to kill her 4th husband, Charles. A second indictment released in May of this year charged her with conspiring to murder Brandon. So I think they are conspiracy charges. I don't know why it's written as if they're first degree murder charges, but maybe I am wrong. Let's look at this. Look. I don't know what the heck is that. What did I do, y'all? On conspiracy to commit murder charges. She appeared in an Arizona courtroom Thursday morning. Nate Eaton reports Vallow was moved to Maricopa County Jail to face the charges related to the murder of her late husband, Charles, and ex-nephew-in-law, Brandon. According to East Idaho News, a second grand jury indictment was filed in February for a conspiracy to commit murder of Brandon. So, I don't know, but you know what? When news is still fresh, there are a lot of mistakes made, so we'll have to see as it shakes out. But let me get some of this stuff off the screen. Yes, she has two different cases. She definitely has, but both are said to be conspiracy. Clicker. So I don't know. The case with Charles, which happened in July, right? And then Brandon, which happened like later that fall of that year. They are two separate cases, but they're gonna, well, you guys heard in the recording when she asked the judge and stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, okay, I'll see you guys tonight at 6. April 1st, 2024. There we go. It is April. Yay! I cannot wait for that. I don't know if that's right, little red. We shall see. I don't know. We're just going to have to see as it shakes out. But anyways, okay, I will see you guys at 6. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a great day. If you don't come back at 6, and if you do, I'll see you in a little bit. Okay. Thank you guys. Bye.